What's going on, everybody? Chaseontwowheels here at Mountain Motorsports in Roswell, and man, am I a happy boy today. In front of us, we have the 2020 Ducati Multistrada, can you guys see this, 1260S. If you guys don't know by now, the Multistrada is in my top 5 favorite motorcycles ever since I rode the Pikes Peak edition a little while ago. So, in today's video, we're going to take this bike out for a first ride, and stick around for the end of the video and we'll find out who this thing is made for. Quick answer, me. This bike is made for me. I love it. I cannot wait to do this first ride. Let's get this thing going. Yes, you guys are very receptive. I don't have a key on me because it's keyless. How cool is that? Let's put it in, we'll start in urban. Alright, cinematics are done. Sound check is done. The beast is ready to be ridden, and I'm ready to ride it. Dun, 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 dun. I'll get on like a cool enduro kid. A big old boy it is. Alright guys, I am 5'10", got a 32-inch inseam, slightly bent legs, and I can actually flat foot this motorcycle, which is insane because it's a touring bike. Since when is that a thing? Oh, the glory. I love this bike already. It's my favorite. Alright guys, let's get her going. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Hold on, we gotta get the windshield mirrors things fixed. Can I see behind me? Yes, I can. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a 2020 Ducati Multistrada 1260S. You guys can see from both the camera car and this GoPro angle, we have got very flat arms right now. I've got an upright seating position, and I am shocked by the level of engine braking that is in urban. I barely roll off the throttle and I'm thrown forward. That's more engine braking than I even want. I want urban mode to have a more smooth ride. But anyway, as far as the seat goes, you know, it's comfortable, but with the engine braking as much as it is, I find that I keep sliding forward a little bit on the seat, which is kind of crazy. It does have a bigger seat. I do feel like I can move around a little bit. I guess I'm trying to figure out what's sitting behind me. It's like the passenger seat is like barely touching my back, which I'm not a huge fan of. I don't like the way that kind of feels. And every time I sit back on this bike, I keep getting kind of thrown forward a little bit because I guess of an angle. The seat's comfortable and all, I'll give you that, and it's huge, but I kind of wish it was more cupped. You know, we just rode the BMW S1000 XR. The seat on that thing was primo, so I'm kind of wishing the seat was a little different, but that's not going to stop me from loving a motorcycle. We have downshift. Oh, clutchless. You guys know what we say. Anytime we get clutchless up and downshifting, instantly we get a more premium feeling motorcycle. I could even feel the click into neutral. I'm liking that. So this is cool and all, but let's get this thing out of urban mode. I'm interested to see what touring feels like. Transmission so far is feeling glorious. I'm getting really tactile clicks on the transmission when I shift. Oh, you guys can see that. There's like a shake that goes through the bike. That's when you know. You're like, all right, I definitely shifted. There's no question about it. All right, guys, so as we're standing still, you know, nobody's going to be surprised when I tell you the Multistrada is a big bike. It both looks big on camera and it is big in person. And when you're not moving and you tip it over a little bit, you can feel where all that weight comes in. But I tell you guys, the second you start moving, look at this, the weight drifts away. You literally, because of these high handlebars, you start feeling like you're on something like a 300. It is, Ducati has the balance down perfect for me, at least for me. I love the lightweight of these handlebars and how light this bike feels. Like that, it's incredible that you can have a motorcycle this big, this heavy, this powerful, and you can still throw it around like a 300 if you want to. So now that we're in touring mode, I gotta say, Urban felt a little more powerful than I kind of wanted it to. I wish Urban would have felt half as powerful as this does. I just feel like you need to have a really slow mo when you have a bike that's this powerful. This is one of those bikes, guys, the type of power and the way it comes on, it gives it all to you down low, and you gotta be careful with it. You can get in trouble very fast. That downshifting, automatic rev matching, God, it feels good. Chase is gonna get himself in freaking trouble. My God, the power delivery of this motorcycle. It is punch you in the face power, down low, right where you want it. I love this power plant around town. You will never, and I truly mean the words, never run out of power. I mean, obviously it's a 1260, right? You got a ton of it. But the way it's put on feels so good. It's exactly what I want out of this motorcycle. So sitting here looking at the dash, you know, we've got a full TFT color dash. I love that. The only thing that I don't really like about this dash is that there is a lot of numbers and a lot of information you guys can see. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and when we change modes, does it change the dash? So it stays relatively the same. Oh, we gotta go and we're in sport mode. Whoops! Looks like we're stuck in sport mode. My God. Sport mode is a whole different animal. Oh my gosh. Engine braking is actually lighter in sport mode. How? There's no way. Engine braking is 100% lighter in sport mode. I don't know why, but it is. I don't know, I kind of like it even more. Oh my goodness. So let me just go ahead and say, guys, unless you really enjoy getting speeding tickets, you should never be in sport mode on city streets. It is too much power at your fingertips. You will get in trouble. I'm glad that truck got in front of me, because nothing good is going to happen with me in sport mode on this motorcycle. This is what I love. Huge motorcycle, huge range of motion on the handlebars. Look at this. Look how far they can go lock to lock. That is going to give you this phenomenal level of maneuverability, even at slow speeds. And because we're upright with the high handlebars, you're barely going, you're not resting on your handlebars, and you can go through light traffic or heavy traffic with no degradation to you whatsoever. You know, if you're on a bike where you're kind of leaned over the handlebars or something, heavy traffic sucks, man. But when you're on a bike like this, where you've got an upright body position, you're comfortable, you got the handlebars set up, no, traffic, you suck. Oh, man. Guys, highway test 2020 Ducati Multistrada 1260S. I don't know if we're going to get to open her up, guys. Look at this travesty. well, this is an opportunity while we're just sitting here chilling in sport mode. You know, if you guys want to win motorcycles that my friends and I build, we do a show called Wreck Bike Rebuild Garage. We'll have a link in the description. We actually build motorcycles and we give them away. So if you guys want a chance to win free motorcycles that we end up finishing up, we would love for you to check the show out. We put a lot of time and effort into it, and it helps us make content like this. Now, typically that content exists of me just hauling butt through this highway. It seems like we might not get that for a hot second. So just hold tight with me, guys. We'll try to get through this. We'll get through this together. And this is adjustable, right? Yes. I love the way they did this. This is so simple. You pull a tab in, you pull up and down, you get a taller windscreen. We're on a motorcycle that is made for touring, so you should be able to easily change that kind of stuff. And on a Multistrada, I can happily say you can. And we're only going 65 in third and have ungodly amounts of power at our disposal. Alright, let's figure out if this is a cop or not, and then we'll proceed accordingly. Yeah, that's not a cop at all. That's not a cop at all. Man, the power delivery feels so good. Woo-hoo-hoo, baby, yes. Oh my God, it was coming on at 9,000. Glory be to Ducati, who have currently made the best motorcycle on the market right now. Look at that, in fourth. I'm not doing over that, man. I'm gonna get in too much trouble. Oh my gosh, here on the highway, we got cruise control, right? On, set, that simple? Good job. Cruise control should be super easy to use. The BMW XR that I rode the other day, the cruise controls wasn't hard to get to or to work, but I like how simple this is. I don't have to think about it. It's very similar to how my car is. I am shocked at the level of power that this bike has on the highway. You would think a power plant like this, you got most of your power would be down low, but this thing just keeps feeding me more and more power. We'll get around that van. What a sad moment that this motorcycle gets stuck behind this on our big turn, guys. What a shame. I really wanted to feel what this bike felt like leaned over. That's... oh, that blows. Oh well, we'll have to save it for another first try, boys. Can't get our way every time. So, now that we're done with the highway, I'm going to be honest, guys, for city riding, I honestly think sport might be too much. I like touring the most. Now, guys, when you're changing modes on these bikes, it's not just changing the power delivery, it is changing the quick shifter, it's changing the suspension, the wheelie control, the ABS, the cornering ABS. The electronics in this motorcycle are top quality. And granted, you're paying 20 grand. They should be. They feel primo and they're very easy to access. If you got cool modes and you don't know how to use them, then what is the point of having cool modes? So I feel like Ducati's done a phenomenal job making their bike very rideable and a phenomenal machine here on the road, but also easy to use. So guys, earlier we were talking about that SKYHOOK suspension. What this bike essentially does is the suspension actively changes in order to keep you settled. So, you know, typically on a motorcycle, if you really slammed on the brakes, you would kind of dive forward, right? Similarly, if you gave it a lot of gas, you would kind of, the weight of your bike would shift back and you'd kind of shift up. That's what will put you into a wheelie. So this SKYHOOK suspension actively keeps you centered, which means you can lay on the brakes and watch. Now, if you guys understood how hard I just laid on those brakes, that would have done a stoppie on a lot of bikes. And this bike just barely dives forward. I don't understand the geometry science or whatever it's doing, but you feel so planted, so smooth on this motorcycle with that suspension, and it creates a phenomenal ride. Just it's the best suspension I've ever ridden on. You can ride this thing like an absolute fool, slamming on brakes, getting a handful of throttle, and you can somehow ride comfortably doing that. It's the most odd combination of things that allows for that, and I've never experienced it before, but man, when you experience that, oh. But yeah, guys, with that SKYHOOK, what I love about it is if you come into a situation where you're like, oh snap, somebody pulls out in front of you, look at that. We barely dove forward, dude. Oh my gosh, my absolute favorite. You know what's actually crazy? The Multistrada that I first rode was the Multistrada Pikes Peak edition. And the Pikes Peak edition has a typical Olin suspension on it. It's a little firmer, more made for racing, but it was a lot harder and it didn't actively change. Now, granted, I will say the Pikes Peak edition looks really cool. It looks cooler than this one, even though I love that Ducati red. But I think if I was in a situation, if I was blessed enough to be looking into a Multistrada to purchase, I think I would purchase this one just because of the SKYHOOK. It creates such a fun ride that I just couldn't get enough of this, man. You have this big touring motorcycle, it's super comfortable, and it's dumb fast, with a capital D, U, M, and B. Dumb fast. You literally get everything. You get comfortable upright body position, so you can ride for a long time and not get hurt. You've got enough power to do literally anything with. You got a suspension that actively changes to your environment to make sure you are as centered as you possibly can be. And that's light. It's this kind of light. There's no weight up here. Now, some of you might not like that. Some of you might not like that lightweight handlebar. I just think the novel feature of having it mixed with a heavy bike is so cool. I cannot stop smiling riding this motorcycle. My goodness. The only thing I don't really love about this bike is I wish I had a needle tack. I love a needle tack. I want the TFT, but I also want a needle tack. And secondly, quite obviously, is the price. It kills me that this thing is $20,000, but I also 100% understand, because the bike was not letting me wheelie. It was literally like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It was, oh God. By the way, DWC, Ducati Wheelie Control. Yes, you have wheelie control, and you can dial that in. So if you wanted the bike to let you wheelie a certain amount, you could literally tell it to do that, and the bike will let you wheelie to a certain degree that you specify. How crazy is that? I don't know. I don't know how else to explain to you guys that this motorcycle is probably one of the best motorcycles being made of our time right now. This is a guy going from, you know, super sports to now I live in a world of nakeds where I've got an MT-10. When and if I ever have the money or am in a financial position to own a Multistrada, I promise you I will buy it. This will be the first Ducati I ever buy. Mark my words. I am infatuated with that grunty power delivery. And yeah, with this power delivery and having that power low down, you are going to be shifting a lot. Even on a 1260 here in town, you're going to be shifting up through the gears. But the way I look at it is, when I'm in town, I want to be actively riding, right? I want to be shifting, I want to be braking, I want to be experiencing the riding experience. When I'm on the highway touring, which this bike should be very well at, and it is, I want to be able to just, you know, put my bike in cruise control and go. So that really grabby throttle isn't going to matter when we're on the sections of road that we should just be kind of chill on. Does that make sense? Like, obviously you guys saw it has torque even up at 111. We were in 4th gear going 111, and I could still do that. It could still throw me back going that fast. So the torque is all the way up there. And if you want to ride on the highway, I just love torque. I love the way it feels. All right, guys, coming up here, we got our turn in so we can take a gander at this beautiful, beautiful machine. This is another situation where those really light handlebars come into a lot of help. Gas stations, parking lots, whatever you need, you got this big bike, you still have this insane level of maneuverability, guys. On a bike this big, it's insane. You know? Oh, we're in a second. Okay. Like, look at this. This is the first day I've been on this bike, right? And I feel that confident in turning in like that. I love it. I love it too much, honestly. All right, let's get that kickstand down. Let's take a gander at this thing. GoPro, we still going? GoPro, we still going. All right, guys. So this is that seat I was talking about. You guys see how there's like a little gap here? I don't like that this kind of lip is touching my back. That's one of the things I'm not a fan of. I like the way the seat feels, but I wish that was flush. So here we are. We got the Multistrada 1260S in red. We got the Brembos up front. You can freaking tell. Check the exhaust out. Dual tips. Ducati are some of the few manufacturers that send motorcycles out with exhaust that if you didn't want to get a different one, you would be okay. I would personally be okay with leaving that exhaust. I think that looks cool as hell. It's a big bike. It kind of looks like a pterodactyl. I dig it. You might not, but you know what? That's why we have so many motorcycle options. We got this trellis frame situation. That's your engine, boys. Testa Stretta DVT. Absolutely phenomenal engine. I love that, but I'm very excited for the V4, so stick around for that first ride. We got the single-sided swing arm, very Ducati-ish with that single-sided swing arm, but you know it's a staple for Ducatis. I love the way the light looks. Like, look at the light from the rear. Man, every angle I go to, it is just a cool-looking bike. So guys, let's see what this looks like when we move this up. So the whole thing moves up. So that's what it looks like when your windshield's high. And then you put it back low and it goes down. And before we get back on the bike, guys, you guys know you got to follow us over on Instagram at C2WPics. That is where you see beautiful photos like that. Thank you, iPhone, for taking good photos. You guys go over there and follow us on Instagram. Let us know you came from the Ducati Multistrada 1260S first ride. And I got nothing else to say. I love every bit of it. There's not a single thing I don't like other than this little lip thing. What's really cool is this can connect with your helmet somehow. I'm not getting into all that, clearly, because y'all know I'd be sitting here for days, so we ain't going to get into that. All right, guys, unfortunately, we have to bring this first ride to a close, so let's get her finished up, and let me enjoy the last few miles I get to spend on the Multistrada 1260, baby. I think I legitimately would ride this around faster than I would ride a Super Sport. I have no doubt in my mind that would be a true statement. Do you guys hear that power? That's also something else that I really dig about this bike is you get a, we're gonna stop at that, but luckily we've got SKYHOOK and that is no problem. Man, I love the exhaust on this thing. I think it sounds perfect like it is, if I was to buy a Multistrada, I don't think I would get a different exhaust. I would leave that one on. Because if you guys think about it, you're going to buy a bike like this, you're going to buy it for the touring aspect, right? You're going to be putting hundreds, tens of thousands of miles on this motorcycle. And for long distance like that, you don't really want this loud, obnoxious exhaust. On a super sport where you're going to do some highway runs or a track day, it's fine because you're going to kind of be on and off. But where you're going to have to live with that bike for hours a day, you want something more subtle, you know? And I think this bike, listen, I think that sounds cool as shit. So in a very rare situation, I honestly don't think you really need to upgrade the exhaust. Now guys, the end of the day, the question is, who is the 2020 Ducati Multistrada 1260S for? One, where, you know, new riders thrown out the window. You don't even need to be sniffing this motorcycle. You've got too big of an engine to be handled by somebody new. You also have a very expensive motorcycle. This thing, I think the sticker on this thing is $20,000. You are looking at a high-class premium motorcycle. The good thing is, though, is this is one of those bikes that costs a lot and it's worth every penny. You know, some bikes are expensive literally just because they're expensive and because of the name. And yes, this is a Ducati, but I can't remember the last time I rode a better feeling all-around package than this from Ducati. And that's me just coming off the V2 that felt great. This is in a whole nother echelon, and maybe I'm the ideal person for this motorcycle if I had a little more cash and could afford it. This thing, the power delivery being punchy, the upright body position so you can ride without being fatigued, the lightweight handlebar feel, the incredible brakes, and the brain-numbing suspension that works in a way that I can't even understand. This is a premium motorcycle for somebody that knows how to ride so that you can appreciate everything this bike gives you. If you aren't somebody that wants to put a lot of miles on this bike, I don't really think you should invest in it because I don't think you're going to get it all out of it. You need to, somebody that buys this motorcycle needs to be ready to put a lot of miles on, because the more miles you put on this motorcycle, the more it's going to give you back. So if you're an experienced rider, you like Ducatis, you like the way it looks, and you have the cash, I can't think of anything you would want to do on this motorcycle that you can't do that you wouldn't be smiling ear to ear from. I can happily say right now in my life, this is my favorite motorcycle. Hands down, I don't even got to think about it. And guys, I'll sit here and talk all day about this Multistrada, but this video is far too long already, so we got to wrap this thing up. But before we get out of here, I got to give a huge shout out to my guys over at Mountain Motorsports. That's the dealership we started at when we started the video, and I am headed that way back to Mountain Motorsports in Roswell. They are the dealership that let me borrow this motorcycle to take you guys on this little ride with me. So if you guys want to check Mountain out, there's going to be links in the description to first ride special pricing. I have a deal with Mountain Motorsports where you guys, if you use that discount, if you do use that link, you can actually get a discount on motorcycles that you want to purchase from there. So Mountain's a huge dealership. They got like 5 or 6 locations up here in North Georgia, and they have a massive inventory. So if you just want to go check out a bike, go there, walk around, sit on some bikes, see how they feel for you, and just see what's up. And guys, I appreciate you riding around with me. I've been Chaseontwowheels, and this has been the first ride of Ducati's Multistrada 1260S. My current #1 favorite motorcycle. I'll keep you guys updated here on first rides to see if it ever gets dethroned. And guys, that's all I got. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you like motorcycle content. And we'll see you on the next one. My loves, my outro crew. What do you guys think? #1 right now. I can easily say that the 2020 Multistrada 1260S, because of that SKYHOOK suspension, is now my number one favorite motorcycle. Is what it is. The only thing that sucks is the price and the cost of ownership. Other than that, everything's great. I love every bit of it. I would own the hell out of it if I could. Oh, and when y'all comment down below, make sure to put OC so I know you guys are in the outro crew. And I'll see you on the next one, where I'm probably not going to be as excited as I am right now because I'm not going to be on my favorite motorcycle. There's that.